The night was silent over the coast of Pensacola, Florida, where the waves crashed like distant drums calling a warrior toward destiny. In a small house near the water, many years before the world knew him as Roman Reigns, a newborn boy named Liti Joseph Anoa'i opened his eyes for the very first time. His father, Saga, a legendary wrestler, held him with pride. His mother whispered blessings over him, and his entire family believed that greatness had entered the world. But no one could have imagined just how far that greatness would go. Roman was not born into an ordinary family. He was born into a lineage of fighters, storytellers, champions, men who had walked into the world with nothing but their strength and walked out as legends. The Anoa'i family was not merely a family, it was a dynasty. Roman grew up surrounded by giants, warriors with broad shoulders and louder-than-life spirits. Yet he was quiet, observant, different. His father always said that the quiet ones hold the biggest storms inside. Roman carried his storm silently. As a child, Roman was a dreamer. He would run along the beach, letting the water touch his feet, imagining he was racing destiny itself. He grew strong early, muscles forming before his teenage years, speed developing like a wild hawk diving through wind. But strength alone did not define him, it was his willpower. Even as a boy, Roman trained harder than his friends. When they played, he lifted weights. When they slept, he ran. When they quit, he kept going. His teachers noticed. His coaches noticed. His father noticed most of all. Saga trained him with the spirit of the island. He taught Roman discipline, respect, honor, and the sacred truth that a real warrior fights not for pride but for purpose. Roman absorbed everything. He wanted to become strong enough to protect, strong enough to overcome, strong enough to rise no matter how many times life pushed him down. That desire, that fire, would later become the heart of his legacy. By high school, Roman was unstoppable. Football became his battleground. His tackles were thunder, his speed a storm, his presence so commanding that even older athletes hesitated when he charged toward them. The school hailed him as their champion, the boy destined for greatness. College scouts visited. Some doubted him, but he turned each doubt into fuel. He earned a place at Georgia Tech, where he became one of the fiercest defensive players in the league. He fought with the heart of a lion, driven not merely by ambition but by the weight of his lineage. Yet fate is never straightforward. After college, Roman aimed for the NFL, chasing a dream that gleamed like gold but vanished like smoke. He signed with teams, was released, tried again, got hurt, healed, trained, fought, rose, fell, life pushing him in circles instead of forward. It was a painful period. Nights of disappointment followed days of relentless work. Roman would stare at the ceiling and wonder why the door kept closing on him. But deep inside, a whisper told him something greater was waiting. One path had to crumble so another, meant only for him, could reveal itself. One evening, while sitting alone, he remembered the words his father once told him. When one battle ends, the universe leads you to the next one. Roman realized his true battle was not on the football field. It was somewhere else, somewhere where his strength, his heritage, his discipline, and his fire could unite. Somewhere where he did not just play a game, he became a symbol. He walked into the world of professional wrestling with determination burning in his eyes. At the WWE training facility, coaches watched the newcomer with suspicion. Many athletes came with dreams bigger than their abilities. But Roman was different. His body moved with purpose. His strikes echoed with precision. His eyes held a cold, sharp focus that intimidated even seasoned trainers. His Samoan heritage gave him raw strength, but his discipline made him unbreakable. They knew he wasn't just another recruit, he was someone who could change the industry. Roman trained like a man possessed. He arrived earlier than everyone and stayed long after the lights dimmed. He learned footwork, ring psychology, character control, stamina, mic ability, and how to connect emotion to performance. He studied legends, not to copy them but to absorb the essence of what made a champion. He wanted to build something new, something unforgettable. The day he debuted on the main stage was the day the world shifted. Alongside Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, he stepped into WWE as part of a faction destined to break barriers, the Shield. The lights dimmed, the crowd fell silent, and the screen flashed code words that would soon become iconic. When Roman appeared in black tactical gear, the arena shook from the force of the crowd's reaction. He walked with a calm fury, a leader in the making. The Shield ripped through WWE like a hurricane. Their teamwork was unmatched, their presence electrifying, and Roman's power undeniable. Every time he delivered a spear, it felt like the ring itself cracked. Every Superman punch he launched shook the air. Fans saw something in him, a mix of warrior spirit and modern legend. But success comes with challenges. As the Shield grew stronger, egos clashed, ambitions heightened, and alliances weakened. Eventually, the brothers in arms walked separate paths, leaving Roman alone in the battlefield. Now began his true journey. Going solo was harder than Roman expected. Critics targeted him. The crowd booed him. Commentators questioned him. Internet forums mocked him. They said he was being forced into the spotlight. They said he didn't deserve the push. They said he wasn't ready. The negativity was overwhelming. Loud, relentless, cruel. But Roman remembered his upbringing, his discipline, his father's words. A warrior does not respond to noise, he responds to purpose. Roman fought back the only way he knew how, through performance. He improved, he adapted, he pushed his limits, and slowly, very slowly, respect began replacing criticism. Fans saw the dedication, they saw the passion, they saw the undeniable star power that could not be manufactured. Then came the night that changed everything. Roman Reigns won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship for the first time. The lights blazed, the crowd erupted, and Roman lifted the title with both hands, feeling the weight of every battle he had fought. The world finally acknowledged him as a real champion. But life had one more test waiting for him, a test far darker than anything he had faced in the ring. One night, Roman walked into the WWE arena holding the championship belt. But his eyes were different, dimmed by sadness, heavy with truth. He took the microphone, looked at thousands of fans in silence, and revealed the secret he had carried on his shoulders. His leukemia had returned. The world froze. Fans cried. Rivals dropped their rivalries. The arena that once booed him now embraced him with love. Roman did not walk away defeated. He walked away as a fighter entering a battle far more dangerous than wrestling. There were no ropes, no referees, no crowds. Only hospitals, medicine, silence, and the terrifying uncertainty of survival. But Roman fought like he had always fought. With courage, with discipline, with faith. His family stood by him. His daughter gave him purpose. His wife gave him strength. His heritage gave him identity. And millions prayed for him. Months later, on a night filled with anticipation and fear, Roman's music hit again. The crowd exploded in joy. He returned, not as a champion seeking glory but as a survivor seeking life. His smile was humble, but his spirit was mighty. The world welcomed him like a returning king. But Roman had changed. He had seen death up close. He had tasted vulnerability. He had learned the value of time, purpose, and identity. When he came back full-time, he came back as something entirely different. Not a hero, not a villain, but a tribal chief. Roman redefined himself completely. No longer the crowd-pleasing babyface. No longer the young soldier. He embraced the power of his lineage and the authority of leadership. With Paul Heyman by his side, he declared himself head of the table, the rightful chief of the Anoa'i bloodline. His voice became colder. His presence became sharper. His dominance became absolute. The Usos joined him, creating a bloodline that ruled WWE with an iron fist. Roman's reign became legendary. He held the Universal Championship for over 1,000 days, defeating every challenger, superstars, legends, monsters, prodigies. Nobody could touch him. He was strategic, brutal, brilliant. His matches told stories. His promos commanded silence. His character became the most compelling in the modern era. The tribal chief era changed Roman Reigns from a superstar into an icon. But beyond the titles, the victories, and the dominance, Roman's true strength came from his humanity. He never forgot the nights he spent fighting cancer. He never forgot the tears his family shed. He never forgot the fans who supported him when the world felt darkest. He never forgot the lessons of humility and courage. That is why even at the peak of his power, he met children fighting illnesses, inspired survivors, comforted families, and reminded everyone that strength is not just in muscles, it is in heart. As years passed, Roman continued building a legacy so massive that future generations would study it. He became a wrestler, a leader, a symbol of resilience. His story was no longer just about a boy from Florida. It became the story of human determination, of falling and rising, of pain and triumph, of destiny and choice. The rise of Roman Reigns was not an accident. It was a journey of blood, sweat, heartbreak, survival, and unshakable will. He walked through storms, fought invisible battles, overcame doubters, and shattered limits. He embraced his past, controlled his present, and shaped his future. And in doing so, he didn't just become a champion, he became a king. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, head of the table, the undisputed warrior of wrestling, stands today not as a man defined by victories but as a man defined by resilience. His story continues every time he steps into an arena, every time he raises a championship, every time he speaks his truth. The world watches him not because he wins, but because he refuses to fall. His tale is far from over. The warrior still breathes, the chief still reigns, the storm within him still rages. And as long as he walks this earth, the legend of Roman Reigns will continue to grow, an eternal flame lighting the path for all who dream of greatness.